Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Back again for episode 21 of Goattville building. Here we are back in the city in the same spot where we were working on the museum as we were in the last episode. So in between episodes, of course, I've done a little bit of work, just sort of, fixing up some things, doing some long-term planning for any things that I have to do, which probably wouldn't be the best for, making an entire video on. And as I was continuing with building the other parts of the museum, if we look over that way, there's the original part. Looks nice, kind of like a palace or castle or something like that, built in like the early 1900s or something like that. A nice traditional style building. And then there's the other part to the left, down that way. You can see some structure to the far left. Where I'm starting to work on the other part of the museum, and the problem that I've kind of encountered, I'm not too sure if it's a good or bad thing, but the thing that I've encountered is that it looks just a little too good. There it is, right there. We started out with some of the base stuff in the last episode, but I built up some of the top stuff, and so far it's looking like far more impending and more, aesthetically beautiful than the other part of it. I mean, they're not supposed to be, like, directly similar. I mean, they are connected by that bridge right there, or they will be once I've actually gone and done some work, but it just looks absolutely incredible. He just sort of puts that, completely out of focus, but the sort of plan that I have here, I'm not too sure if I detailed it too much in the last episode, but I have this road right here, this small little road, which would be like strictly pedestrian based or something like that. That was my original plan, but then I started to figure out, like, you have this nice, beautiful, massive building, and there's like, just a couple people walking past you every now and then. Like, I feel like that could be something quite nice, but just having like small single lane slow traffic just running that way and that way, that could be, somewhat interesting. But the plan that I have is of course, the massive museum of the Majestic Goat, or just, I'm not too sure exactly what I'm going to call it, but we have the museum there, and it's just going to fill up a whole wide part of that, and we're going to have the other parts of the road continue here on the backside. That will go alongside the back of the train station, and it will make its way down this way, and on this side, the museum, of course, won't stretch all the way out here, so on this side is where we're going to start the zoo. Should be quite nice, which will extend to the back part of the museum. But these two little plots right here are going to be reserved for restaurants, I'm thinking. I mean, I was planning to have a lot more, but it looks like I might only be able to put like 2 or 3. So these will be some nice simple restaurants, not like fast food stuff, because I'm not going to feel like putting in any drive-thrus, and also they would totally not match the style of these buildings that I have right here. But yeah, with just some simple restaurants there. And then one thing that was kind of annoying is that, you have that nice beautiful museum there, and to see it from the front right here would be very nice. It's a nice beautiful view, but the only way you can get here is this little side road that runs along the massive boring wall of the train station. So, maybe with the train station I should have gone with that, with the design that I had for, that was kind of based off of Central Station in New York instead of some random one in Russia, so that was a bit of an oopsie, but it still looks pretty good and still works as what it's supposed to be. So in this episode, we're just gonna mostly be working on some more additions to the museum, just sort of building up the structure specifically on this side, so that we can get the whole connection part to this museum done, and hopefully we can get this part of the museum done as quickly as possible, and maybe we'll do a little tour of it. That would be something a bit more interesting. So we're mostly going to be working over here, and as you can see, this spot where the tunnel connects to this other part is going to be, it's on the second floor of that museum, and then it's going to be on the first floor of this museum. So I thought that was quite interesting to have as a structure bit. And then right here we're just going to have a nice lot of columns right there, and then just some additional details, stuff that I haven't really gotten to planning back there. So I suppose we can get right into that with some building, and I can start setting out some of the frame and stuff like that, and just basically filling in the rest of the stuff right here, just so it looks a bit more completed. So I could do a little time lapse, I think. Yeah, the time lapse I did in the last episode was quite nice, where I had the nice Minecraft music playing in the background as I showed the different parts of it. So how about in 3, the time lapse will begin in 3, 2, 1. Alright, and here we are after about 20 minutes of working, so putting in a lot of work for just that short little jump cut, which I thought it was going to be, but here we are. We've gotten a good amount of this stuff filled in and sort of planned out. For this bit, like right here, with all the columns going up, originally I was going to have it go up in a point, like, you know, that side. I thought it would look nicer, but then I was like, that probably wouldn't look that great to have like this massive, giant, tall structure just facing that wall, so I just sort of made it a nice simple little curve. You know, probably could be a little bit curvy, but I think it's a pretty good shape. And then of course we just need to fill in all of this space right here and carry the curve back this way so that it fits in with the roof. But for the next bit, what could we do for the next bit? I was thinking of working on the tunnel bit right there, figuring out some sort of design so that way it will actually look kind of good. So I suppose I can get started with that, or I could just fill this in real quick. Just, you know, save us some time. So let's get some polished andesite. And I can fill this in, and hopefully this makes things look a little bit easier. So that way when I finish with the bridge, everything will look nice and complete. So let's begin with this. I will be finished with all of this andesite placing in 3, 2, 1. Perfect, looks very nice. And then, now that we got all that stuff there, looks very nice, fills in the space quite well. I would have put the doors in, but that would have required, you know, about 20 seconds extra of work. 28 seconds, as well as filling in a bunch of other stuff that I have right here. But anyway, finally let's get into some of that, and some of the actual buildings. So let's get some swiftness out. And let's see, how are we going to do this? I kind of want it to be in a rather similar style to here, but something that could also fit in over there, which was going to be quite the problem considering that these are two completely different materials. So if we bring this out, I suppose we can just sort of start moving over that way. Maybe we can have like some more moderate windows, like those ones, like moderate in size, because these ones are a little bit bigger, more elaborate with their details. Meanwhile, those ones are a bit more, you know, spaced out. And how are we going to do this? Oh dear, this is going to be quite difficult. Maybe we can start out with something like this and put, let's clear out our inventory and put like a block of quartz here. Actually no, we can just keep it as 2. And then let's see, maybe we can go up 3 like this, and then continue to build up the sandstone right here, and we'll go across right here, and then we can get some quartz on the outside doing something like this, or like, let's make it a bit more interesting, like that. Is that good? Does that look good for a little window as it goes across? And just have a bunch of those sort of scattered along there. I think it could work. First off, let's see how the bottom part is going to look. So we'll get some sandstone stairs out. Or maybe we can get some quartz stairs out, just as a nice lovely blend of materials. We already had quartz stairs. Alright then. So if we go like this, and then just repeat that design a bunch of times over, like by repeating it like this. And then we have the other one right here. So we put that there, build that up real quick, and just do a little conceptualizing and seeing, hopefully, if this looks good enough. And then we can just do a quick little jump cut to fill everything in. I think that could work. Yeah, sure, why not? And we could put a little bit of extra detail on top, some more interesting ones, just so it doesn't look like a tube going across, just so we can kind of, you know, have some detail from there. So I suppose we should do that now before we get too far into a design, so I can, you know, make this video something more than just a bunch of jump cuts. So I suppose, how high do we need this roof to be? That's a good height. Yeah, that's good enough. So let's get some birch stairs out, and then maybe we can do like some alternating pattern like this, and then put some sandstone like that, and then maybe get some slabs and do something like this. And not too sure how this is going to look, but let's just try it. So if we bring this over here and then fill this top bit with birchwood slabs. First done. My right trigger's not working too well. So if we do that, let's see how this works. Does that look too much? Might be a little bit too much. Okay, how could we fix this? Maybe just get rid of that top bit. You know, sort of limit what it has. Would that be any better? I am stuck. Would that work? Just going right across? Maybe we could add some detail here in this middle bit, because this looks kind of empty. I can't figure out what I could. Fences, birchwood fences. What if we do something like this? Like 1, 2, 3. Or would that just be completely unnecessary? That might actually be pretty good if we just do 3 like this. Maybe put a slab on top. Let's see, hopefully this is somewhat interesting so we can get started. You know what, let's just continue with the design, and of course we can change it, so with some modern changes afterwards. So we'll just see how this looks. So I suppose I can get started with building it across, beginning with 3, 2, 1. And I think it turned out pretty good, I think. I'm not too sure exactly, if it could be any better. I think this is about as good as it can get, but it's got some quartz elements from that side, and it's got some nice sandstone elements from there, so it's a nice, lovely little blend from there. If we back out to here, there's a little bit of a better look for it. Let's go a little bit farther back. There we go. I think that actually looks quite good, and from a distance, because the colors are so similar, it looks nice. I think it's a nice, lovely little blend. And of course I didn't finish all of it. The back side is not completely finished yet, just because I'm really running low on time, as I do every single week. I'm always running low on time. But that's pretty much what that is. Oh look, Dan Lags Jr. has joined the game. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, so I suppose this is where we can finish off the episode now. So this time, leave the word get in the comments, not goat, get, G-E-T. Let's see if we can trick anyone, see if they're going to try and, steal a heart on their comments just by assuming that I do this every single episode. So just comment get, G-E-T, if you're still here, so I can see who all of my lovely subscribers are who managed to endure all of my all of the length of my Minecraft videos in 2018. But aside from that, in the next episode we will probably get into the interior. I'll probably have a good lot of the exterior figured out to the back, and maybe that can have a small part in it, but we'll probably start working on the interior and getting some of that stuff. And the interior for this one should be a lot more interesting because the first floor is actually that far off the ground, so we can have some nice interesting layout choices when we get to building the interior. And I think the museum will kind of have a theme, like a differing theme every now and then. So this time I think I'll focus mostly on the Gaia community server that I was part of, because I have some good plans for that, more than anything else for like my channel or my Minecraft history. I think making stuff about the Gaia community server would be pretty good. So if you're familiar with that, would be a nice, lovely little addition. But if you're not familiar, well, then you definitely will be. So yeah, we'll get into that next episode. Oh, he's already left. I suppose he's not as interested, but he has joined my world, like, it was a couple days ago, and he was on here for a while, so I guess he was looking at any new additions. But of course there'll be this video tomorrow, so anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on, and thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!